Good morning, beautiful people. My name is Alafia, and I am the CEO and co-founder of ArishConnect.com. So I'm back at it with another video talking about social things that are happening in the Arish community. And over the weekend and on Monday, I don't know if many of you saw this, but there was a post about colorism in the depiction of Orisha. And in my opinion, and I'm going to preface this with saying that no, Orisha is not owned by anybody. So these are divinities that no one can say, these are mine and mine exclusively, because that's not how divinity works. This is a religion that has been very tolerant, very open, and very flexible in the way that it's presented to the world and the way that devotees are accepted. And the thing about, gosh, I don't know how to do this without getting upset, because even though Orisha is not owned by anybody, there needs to be a level of consciousness and consideration for the fact that these are African divinities, sub-Saharan African divinities. Like that's indisputable. And so to see, as particularly as a woman of color and particularly as a black woman, to see depictions of the Orisha that are Eurocentric bother me. They stir me. They make me feel like we can't have nice things without someone coming to infiltrate and to manipulate and to manifest them into something else. And it's hurtful to me, because why couldn't African divinities stay African? Why is there an incessant need for them to be something else other than black? And as like psychologically, I understand wanting to worship what you can directly identify with, and the easiest way to do that is visually I can identify with African divinities because I am black. So when I look at you, I see myself, I see cultural qualifiers, I see experiences, and so I get that. The whitewashing of people of color and entities of color is not new. It's not. It's happened all the time. And though that is the case, I don't think that it's healthy. I think that those Europeanized images, many of whom that I think, stem from the synthesis of traditional Yoruba religion and Catholicism in order to survive throughout the diaspora, so that, people are not killed for practicing outright. It's like, okay, we slide these divinities underneath Catholic saints. It was a really easy thing to do, and it was necessary in order for survival. However, being that it is indisputable, and we do live in an age where that doesn't have to be our reality, that fear does not have to be our reality. We don't have to keep our Orisha in the basement. We don't have to keep our Elekes inside of our shirts. We don't have to do these things anymore. I get that we did at one time, but we don't have to now. I think that it's inconsiderate. And to think that the Eurocentric depictions of African divinities is harmless is problematic. And it's problematic because it feeds into erasure. And in our community, we've already had too much going on where there are subsects of Orisha worship that are trying to separate themselves from the African roots of their tree. And a tree without roots will die. So it's something that we have to really take a look at. Like, what are the gains for you for separating from the African roots of this tradition? What are the gains for you to say something like traditional, like to say things like Orisha worship originated in Cuba, which is something that I've heard and something that disgusts me on a level that I can't even touch on right now, because you cannot make a copy without discussing the blueprint. We've got to do something, because the way that these depictions are manifesting themselves is almost always, when it comes to female Orisha, feminine energies, and it feeds into the very toxic idea that women who are darker skinned are undesirable. I have literally been told that Orisha, that Osun only likes light skinned children. That's bonkers. And it's the kind of thing that Europeanized depictions, that whitewashing, that's what can happen to the mind if those kinds of things are accepted. And it's something that we've got to stop, because self-love is important, particularly for people of the African diaspora in all aspects, because this is something that we have to deal with on a regular basis. So as Orisha manifest themselves to you, fine. As they show themselves to you, whatever that looks like, fine. But there needs to be a consideration that these are African divinities. Okay? I hope that this is something that we can tackle in a respectful way, in a non-dismissive way, and in an empathetic way, because empathy is what heals. But if you can say, I can understand how you, as a person of color, as a black woman, could feel slighted if European depictions that are so far removed from what you look like are being presented as the model of beauty, as the model of desirability, as the model of motherhood and sensuality and femininity. I can understand how that would be an affront to who you are as a person, particularly because these are African divinities. So yeah, I know that I don't have a popular opinion, and that's okay. But I'm hoping that we can have dialogue and conversations, because the erasure is real. In the forum yesterday on Orisha Space, somebody had said that, our spirituality stems from Atlantis. I was like, see, that is what I'm talking about. That is what happens when we are in a community where the power and the money and the magic that comes with the religion and is practiced by other people, and then there is like, oh, okay, this is wonderful, so I'm going to try to take this and I'm going to try to manipulate this and manifest this and turn this into what I need it to be. It's like, if you don't get out of here with that Atlantis comment, if you don't move all the way to the back of the line with that mess. All right, so I hope everybody has a beautiful day, and I appreciate that you guys have given me a platform to talk and to discuss these kinds of things, because it's a problem. It's a problem, and it's a problem that can be easily fixed if folks who are insistent on having European depictions of their Orisha can really sit down and say, why? Why do I need African divinities to look like me? Am I so incapable of loving the Orisha as they are, as African divinities that look like African people when they present themselves in human form? Like, why is that something that I cannot do? All right, y'all. Bye.